Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is another beautiful day here. It is Sunday, June the 20th, 2021. So let's go ahead and we will cut the music with Bonnie Taylor and I Need a Hero. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a very, very interesting week. So this is another episode of Political Theater with Charles Nash. I am your host, Charles Nash, and today we've got a lot of things to cover, folks. A lot of things. A lot of interesting things actually happened in the news. So, as we all know, we had a very, very special thing happen to us this week. Well, it looks like President Biden once again showed the world, one, he has dementia, and two, he really makes the United States look weak, folks. And I mean weak. So weak that even Biden's own experts are now calling his own administration weak and questioning if the foreign summit that happened over the week here was even a good idea at all. So let's get down to brass tacks here. First thing I want to bring up here is the whole summit itself. So what I want to do is talk about what transpired. So we had the G7 summit, and part of that was a actual meeting between Biden and President Putin of Russia. Now, this wasn't like when Ronald Reagan, took it to the Russians and took it to their president and basically had his way with them, sent them packing back to Russia. No, this was not a Ronald Reagan moment with Mr. Gorbachev's, please tear down the wall moment. No, it was none of that. It was basically Joe Biden going, yeah, well, could you please not hack us and where's my oatmeal? Don't do anything to pretty please to the United States, please. Yeah, that was pretty much Joe Biden, and basically everybody had their way with him. It was so bad at the G7 summit that other nations was actually snickering and making fun of President Biden. You know that it's bad, folks, when even our allies are questioning Biden's motives. And it's not anything to work with the United States. No, our own allies now are taking advantage of our weak president and his administration to the point where they know they can get away with it because we're going to give them everything that we shouldn't be in, like the Paris Accord or, this Green New Deal crap. Or how about the United States just flip the bill again for all the other countries, for NATO? Yep, that's what it's come to. Pretty much everything that's happening is, it just looks really sad. So I'm going to read a couple things here. One thing that happened with the meeting with President Putin, and by the way, even Putin's own bodyguards and security had their way with the media. With Biden's, I only answer to certain media outlets with questions that are predetermined by my handlers. Yeah, that's Joe Biden. He can't be put on the spot, folks. And even not even being put on the spot, he still failed at it. This man is a walking disaster. So, in his meeting with Putin, he laid out 6 critical infrastructure sectors that he said that he told Vladimir Putin that was off limits. Can you imagine just how that went down? I can. Please, pretty please, here's a list of things. Do not attack our country, or there's gonna be consequences. What's that? Oh, you don't care. Oh, well, pretty please, don't touch these things. I'll give you anything you want. Just don't touch it. That's Joe Biden, folks. That's what that meeting basically was. I'm going to give you a rundown of the 16 items that he told President Putin. Here's a red line. If you cross that red line, Mr. Putin, there's going to be hell to pay. Yeah, right. Kind of like Obama's red line with Syria. So here they are. The first one is the chemical sector. The Department of Homeland Security is designed as a risk factor management agency for the chemical sector. Putin's not allowed to touch that. Hackers are not allowed to touch that. The commercial facilities sector. The Department of Homeland Security is designed as the risk sector management agency for the commercial factory sector, which includes a diverse range of sites that draw large crowds of people for shopping, businesses, entertainment, or lodging. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but didn't we already have this attacked now twice? We had our gas, and then we had our food supply, a meat packing company, or a meat company. Yeah, and what was the United States and the Biden administration's answer to that? Well, that's the private sector. We don't, the government can't get involved. Okay. So the government can't get involved when it involves the American people getting screwed over bad, causing issues here within this country. Okay, I don't buy that, Mr. President, but we'll continue here. Communication sector. The communication sector is an internal component of the U.S. economy, underlaying the operations of all businesses, public safety organizations, the government. The Department of Homeland Security is a center risk management agency for communication sector. So Putin's not allowed to touch our communication sector, according to Biden. Critical manufacturing sector. Well, I don't have to go into that. We all know what that is. It's manufacturing here in the United States. The Department of Homeland Security is designated as the sector risk management agency for the commercial manufacturing sector. So now we're not allowed. We told him you're not allowed to hack that, or there's gonna be a problem. Dams sector. The Department of Homeland Security is designed as the risk management agency for the dam sector. The dam sectors compromise dam projects, navigation locks, levees, hurricane barriers, mine trailing impoundments, and other similar water retention and or control facilities. So he's not allowed to touch those, and they're not allowed to hack those. Defense industrial base sector. This one was a good one. I laughed about this one. Emergency. He actually had on his list of things that the Russians or any other country can't hack is emergency sector, just as emergency. It gets better, folks. It gets really better. The energy sector. Now, I talked about this for several weeks now, that if we have all these hackers that can get into our food and gas, what stops them from taking out the energy department or our nuclear sectors? It's a scary thought, folks. It's scary. The financial service sector. Food and agriculture sector. That was already hacked. We didn't do anything about it. Matter of fact, prices are up everywhere. And who's paying for it? Me and you. Government facilities sector. Healthcare and public health sector. Information technology sector. Nuclear reactors, materials and waste sector. Transportation sector. And water and waste management systems sectors. These are the 16 critical things that was on that list that Joe Biden gave to Putin. Oh, and he gave Putin a crystal ox and some nifty fighter pilot sunglasses when they meant to. Kind of like the ones that Joe wears, because he thinks he's a pilot, or aviator glasses because he thinks he's cool. Yeah, they're not. So, there you have it. There's the list of thanks. Basically, what Joe Biden gave him was, don't touch anything. If you want to attack us on something, maybe, I don't know, shoes or dentures or, I don't know, paper. I mean, he basically gave Putin this basically is a rundown that says, don't attack anything. You know damn well, folks, the Russians all laughed at that. All of them. They all laughed at that whole thing. And this is the sad part about the whole thing. If we actually wanted to make an impact against Russia, why didn't they just do like Trump did with China? Slap sanctions on them. Don't trade with Russia. I don't know. Why did we give in to letting them build those pipelines for all of Europe for gas? I mean, that's the bloodline of their economy there, folks, is gas. Fossil fuels to Europe. I mean, we were a leading, exporter. We were dependent under Donald Trump with fossil fuels. We were selling it to other countries. We were choking off Russia from their actual financial security. And then you have this moron go in, and he can't even remember the alphabet, let alone what day it is. And they honestly think that even with giving him cue cards, that he's going to get something right in a summit. And then they go one step further and go, yeah, we can't have them on national TV, debating each other. Don't do that. And not only at one point in that summit, I'm never going to vote for, root for Russia or Vladimir Putin. But I was pretty impressed how Putin, when they did his interview, they went right after him about, non-fair elections in Russia and how his opponents are getting poisoned and killed. And how is it a fair election if he's killing all of his opponents? And Putin turned it right around on him, folks. He turned it right around on the news media. I mean, he basically told them, he goes, you're coming at me over issues in my country when basically you can't even function in your own country. And what did he use? The January 6th attack on the Capitol. He basically said you have your own people in your own country telling the government and the administration that they're corrupt, that they don't want it. And what happened? He turned it right around on the American media. He used their own attack against them, and it made us look stupid. Stupid. Not only did it make us look stupid, it made us look weak. To any other adversary, any other enemy country out there, we looked stupid. And then you have Joe Biden, who can't even articulate at the G7 summit with other countries. He pauses for a good 16 to 45 seconds as he's talking. He can't even articulate what he's saying in a complete sentence. And we had people from other countries looking at him, making comments, laughing. It got to the point where people were pointing and laughing. If this is the guy who's the leader of the free country that's representing us, this is sad, folks. This is sad. It is so sad. And then after the meeting, with Putin, again, they had their couple media outlets that Joe Biden prefers because they're his lackeys. They had set questions that were predetermined, and the president already had the question so that he could give an answer that was already, he had rehearsed. But then one of the people from CNN went off a script. And I want everybody to hear this clip because Joe Biden lost it. He got really mad. So I'm going to play this clip. I want everybody to listen.
Why are you so confident he'll change his behavior, Mr. President?
Yeah, I'm not confident in changing behavior. What the hell? What do you do all the time? So when did I say I was confident?
You said in the next 6 months you'll be able to determine.
What I said was, let's get it straight. I said what will change their behavior is if the rest of the world reacts to them and it diminishes their standing in the world. I'm not confident of anything. I'm just stating the fact.
He's not confident of anything.
In that press conference, after sitting down with you for several hours, he denied any involvement in cyber attacks. He downplayed human rights abuses. He even refused to say Alexei Navalny's name. So how does that account to a constructive meeting as President Putin?
You don't understand that in your own business. If the summit with China.
Wow. Did everybody just hear that? That was Caitlin Collins, okay? That was Caitlin Collins right there. She asked him, if you didn't hear the clip, it was kind of hard to hear because a lot of the networks were trying to cut out of it. They didn't want that to be heard. They were trying to cut out of that because it was off script. So basically, she asked him as he was walking away from the podium, from all of his other scripted questions, she asked him basically how this meeting was going to affect getting Russia and Putin back in line if he basically downplayed everything. And Biden came back pissed off, mad face like we've seen him before, and other things like when he got mad when the guy asked him about during his campaign for president, asked him about why he was taking away his gun rights and was for taking away gun rights. And what did Joe tell him? Why don't you shut up, do push-ups, man? I'll, beat your ass. Or when he went against another news network when they had asked him a question that he didn't like, and he basically, said, "What are you? Are you on crack? Is that what you do for your job?" And he just goes off. Well, he went off on her. He basically said, who says this? You're the president, and when someone asks you this question, he goes, "No, I have no confidence at all. I have no confidence in anything." You have no confidence in anything? I don't even know how to react to that, folks. That speaks volumes. You don't know how to react to anything? And then he goes, well, it's not the United States. It's going to take the world to crack down on Russia and Putin. It's going to take the world? Mr. President, you opened up the pipelines from Russia into Europe. You've opened up a lot of things. You've shut down jobs here in the U.S. You're making everyone dependent on Russia, who's one of our leading enemies, according to your administration. They're attacking us with cyber attacks, and you basically go in there and say, I have no confidence in anything, and I talked to him, and I gave him a 16 item list of things he can't touch, and said, pretty please, with cherries on top, don't do this or else. Come on. And that's your answer when you're put on the spot of how you're going to stop this, how you're going to get this man corrected? They're never going to correct anything. They see what you are now. You're a laughable joke. You're not even a man. I mean, I hate to say that, folks. I mean, but I hate putting down people that can't defend themselves in front of me. But that's just pitiful. I mean, this was pitiful. And then this was him walking back to his plane.
An apology. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have been such a wise guy with the last answer I
Yeah, you just hear that? I shouldn't have, I guess I owe that reporter an apology. I guess I shouldn't have been a wise guy to that answer. That answer? That wasn't an answer. That was you throwing a tissy fit because somebody went off script and then they actually asked you a serious question and you couldn't articulate anything because you don't know where you're at. You don't know where you're at and you don't know what you're doing. And everyone sees it. Even your own party here in the United States now thinks you're a buffoon. Thinks you're a buffoon. Your own party is losing confidence in you. And when the left starts losing confidence in their own leader, folks, that says very, very large things right there. When your own party back home starts questioning your motives because you can't get the job what they want you to do done on a world stage for everyone to see. He fumbled big time. So there's some other things that I wanted to bring up here when it goes with this. And again, this goes back to what I just said. This was published 10 hours ago. It says foreign policy experts divided on whether Putin-Biden summit emboldened China. Do you see it? It's already starting. It's already starting. His own experts, and it's not just his own experts, it's everyone. Everyone in government, national security agents, top advisors. We already know what the public thinks about him, folks. People that even voted for him. I'm starting to see yard signs here in Ohio that people are putting up, I made a mistake. Or that I know that I've seen, I'm riding with Biden signs, are now got Trump signs up that says, you miss me yet, with the president holding the flag. Because people have realized, especially the people that voted for Joe Biden, because they were enraged for some reason with Trump derangement syndrome, they're starting to realize, uh-oh, I messed up. And I always say this. When it comes to whatever party you vote for or whoever you voted for. Because I'm an independent. I'm a conservative, but I'm an independent. I always say this. People only realize they made a mistake when it hits their billfold. And it's hitting people's billfolds bad. We're not even into a full year yet, of the 4 years that we're going to have with Joe Biden. If he even makes it that long. And God help us if he doesn't, because the alternative, Kamala Harris, folks, she can't even make it to the border. She can't even address the issues that she's tasked with. And Joe Biden, like I said, people are hurting. Their billfolds are getting lighter and lighter. And their bank accounts numbers are just going down. And even the markets now are starting to tank. Inflation is up so high, you got experts saying, yeah, we got a problem. We saw the biggest decrease in Wall Street with stocks happen Friday afternoon. Why? Well, because the government signaled that they were going to start tacking up rates. And it panicked the market. Because the government's got to do something, folks. They're spending under the Biden administration. And it's devaluing the dollar. And we've talked about this, and inflation's out there. And what's happening? Everything's going through the roof, and people are losing their asses. I'm sorry to say it. I ain't going to sugarcoat it tonight. They're losing their asses out there. And you got a man that's behind the power wheel here in this country who's shutting down jobs, shutting down people's way of life. Prices are going up. I mean, look at wood. I mean, it is through the roof. $98 for a single sheet of plywood. No joke. I went and got 7 2x4s, and it cost me $83 at Lowe's a week and a half ago for a rabbit cage. That's ridiculous. It was $9.73, I think it was, when I paid for it, for just a 4x8. A 4x8. $9.78, folks. This man has went through and eked out everything that we had going for us under Trump. Eked out everything. And now you have, again, like I'm getting back to, foreign policy experts divided on whether Putin-Biden summit emboldened China. Oh, you know it did. You know it did. It emboldened everybody around the world to rather take advantage right now of the United States. You think they're going to pay their fair share with NATO or anything else that we agree to with anyone? Hell no. Hell no. They're going to go out there and they're going to stick it to the United States, and you know who's going to pay for it? Me and you, the taxpayers. We're going to eat it. We're going to eat all of it. We're going to eat this big, big worldly economic bill. Plus, we're going to eat everything else because of inflation and all the other prices with everything going up. And whatever else kooky bill him and the Democrats cook up to go through the House and the Senate. So yeah, his own experts, yeah, they're not sure if this was a good idea. Well, hell no, it wasn't. So this is a good one right here. I'm going to read it. It says, I just don't buy that the argument which says this was not worth it for the United States, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said to CNN. As President Biden himself said, he did what he came to do, and I think America's going to come out better for it. What the hell did you come and do? What did you do, Mr. President? You made everyone in this country look like a fool. You made our country look weak and stupid. You know, I love the United States, folks. I'm a veteran. I served this country. I was under Bush and Obama's administration. I saw the stark differences. I have always followed our commander-in-chief when I was in the military. I'm not now. I would not follow this fool to save my life. He didn't show anyone anything except that we're weak and foolish. And we have a man asleep at the wheel. That was it. But not all security officials agree, arguing it bolstered the top U.S. adversary and said, yeah, it did, folks. And I love this. So here's the winners and the losers. Yeah, I'm not even going to get into it because this was a CNN article. They're sitting there trying to praise President Biden. We didn't get anything out of that. We lost our asses in this. Biden has given them everything that they wanted. Everything. There's nothing that he's fighting for me and you for. Nothing good by that way. But I just, I wanted to bring this up tonight. I mean, there was nothing good that came out of any of that. Anything with that summit. But that's your president, folks. That's who we have. Now, I'm going to change focus here a little bit. I found this interesting. This was on Newsmax. It was also, it was also on the straw poll. And I wanted to bring this up because I don't really know what to make of this. For the last year and a half or longer, you keep hearing that the Republican Party is the party of Trump. That everything is revolving around President Trump, and his policies and ethics have reshaped the Republican Party, and I agree with that to an extent. But I find it very interesting that the straw poll came out here the other day, and what are they reporting? It says Florida, DeSantis top in straw, Trump close second. So I read it. And it was actually a very interesting poll poll read here. It says Florida GOP Governor Ron DeSantis beats former President Donald Trump in a presidential performance straw poll conducted by the Western Conservative Summit. And the survey conducted by the Institute at the event, participants were asked to select each presidential candidate they would approve for president in 2024. DeSantis edged out Trump, who came in second. The other candidates in the top 5 were Senator Ted Cruz, Republican of Texas, at third. Former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo was fourth, and Senator Tim Scott, Republican, South Carolina, at fifth. To break it down by number, Ron DeSantis scored a 74.12%, Donald Trump 71.43%, Cruz at a 42.86%, Pompeo at 39.35%, and Scott at 35.58%. So what does this say to us, folks? I think it says that I don't think this is clearly the party of Trump. I think the Republicans are emboldened to act on what Donald Trump was trying to put forth with his America First, his policies, and the way we were seen to the world, and the way that Donald Trump commanded expertise and, other countries looked at Trump as a questionable individual because they didn't know how to take Trump. That's why we never had problems like we're having now with Putin or North Korea or China, because they didn't know how to take Trump. President Trump was a question mark. And every time President Trump said he was going to do something to a hostile actor, he did it. And they knew he was going to do it. We didn't have the cyber attacks under President Trump. And that's why. They could not put their finger on Trump. But Biden, they can read Biden. They can read me, folks. They can read me like a cheap $2 bill. Because they can. He gives them everything he wants. I mean, there is nothing to say, folks, about President Biden. There's just not. He's asleep at the wheel, and everybody knows it. They know he's weak. I'm not going to shoot into it anymore. But I just thought that was interesting. Ron DeSantis is, he's a smart individual. He runs Florida very well. He's very well respected, and he has good leadership. And just the way he's went through the whole COVID situation and pandemic with the state of Florida, people seen that. And I think that's what kind of has given him the edge over the straw poll over Donald Trump. But again, I will quote Rush Limbaugh as what he always said. Folks, we are 3 years out from the 2024 presidential election. Anything can happen at that time. So I, like Rush Limbaugh, am not going to sit here and say, yep, there's going to be your next president, because too many factors are going to change. Too many things are going to come into play. But it's something to watch, though. I mean, it really is something to watch. So, it's something to keep a lookout for. I just find that very interesting. Another thing I want to talk about was the VP Harris being accused of bullying iconic singer to the point that where she almost killed herself. I didn't get to read a whole bunch of this, but legendary singer, Nina Simmons' granddaughter, accused Vice President Kamala Harris of causing the family to lose control of Simon's estate while Harris was California Attorney General. I mean, I don't really read into a lot of this stuff, but I just find it interesting that the same individuals who push, black equality, Black Rights Matter movement, defund the police, anti-bullying, let everybody into the country, America, like as Joe Biden would say, is racist, and it's the number one issue in this country. Him and Harris are always targeted. They put out this stuff to everybody that we're terrible people, and then the truth comes out that they're actually the terrible people. Kind of like Joe Biden's, I don't want my kids going to school with black kids because it's a racial jungle, folks. Remember that? Yep. Well, it looks like VP Harris has her same issues, just apparently she's a bully. Who would have guessed? Well, that brings, looks like it's going to bring an end to another fantastic episode here of Political Theater. Again, I ask anyone and everyone, go through our podcast, look at our videos. Just don't skim through it. Go through the whole thing. If you're YouTube and you're someone that works for YouTube, please, by all means, if you're going to censor me, please actually go through and look at the material that I'm actually presenting, at the news articles that I'm presenting, to the information that I'm presenting, even the historical things that I bring to my channel. Please go through and research it. You can find it yourself. I tell my own audience this. Anyone can find this material anywhere on the internet or in a book. So if you're going to censor me and tell me that I, for some reason, have done something bad and tried to remove videos, because that's what they did to me here 2 weeks ago. They removed some of my podcasts, and I had to redo my podcast and put them back on and explain to YouTube, look, you can't go by a headline. Actually look at the video. Or if someone's going to complain, folks, I know we're in the woke culture where everyone is offended by everything. I'll tell you, like I tell my own children or people that I know about TV or the radio, if you don't like what you hear or see, turn it off. Flip a channel. You have a remote. You got a mouse clicker. Like if you're watching it here on a computer. You don't have to watch it. You can go click, it's off. I would say the same thing to YouTube. If you don't, or any other outlet, if you don't like what I'm saying, don't send me this negative thing that says you're breaking a community rule because you're putting out false information, like they did with Dr. Fauci last week. No, I didn't. You can pull up any of the information that I'm pulling up, and you know where I got that information? The Freedom of Information Act from Congress. If that is fake, well, guess what? You better remove everything then. Just putting that out there. Getting back on topic, if you want to drop a line, please drop a line. I am on YouTube. Well, maybe. I'm on Rumble. I am on Facebook. Please drop us a line. Tell us what you think. I don't care if you agree with me. I don't care if you do agree with me. Drop us a line. Tell us what you think. If you have something you'd like me to talk about in one of my podcasts for the next episode, I don't care if it even has anything to do with politics. Drop us a line. Let us know. I'll incorporate it. We'll talk about it. So again, I am Charles Nash. This has been another Political Theater with me. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I will catch you next week, folks. Have a great night.